Alright, before the main video starts, I just wanted to, this is after I recorded it, I just wanted to address that, what's it called? I'm just kind of rambling throughout this. I mainly go over how perfectly the show wraps all the arcs up. So I just basically go over each character and how their ending is, and I go over little tidbits of the plot. I'm not going to structure it like last time. And Cobra Kai never dies. And it is here the end has come of Cobra Kai. It might be goodbye, but Cobra Kai never dies. Okay, that was cringy. But like, it actually kind of goes hard if you think about it. So, this video, Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 3, and the entire analysis. I'm not going to do it in the same way I did it last time because that got cut down by copyright. So this video probably won't be as long as that one. It won't be split into 2 parts. But I'll still adjust. Yeah, but instead, I'll be doing a different kind of format. Where I just kind of like go over a lot of good, like my thoughts on the season as a whole, the series, the good, the bad, specific points I want to talk about. Not specifically every episode scene by scene, because that was exhausting to do. But let's get into it now. So I will, just to start, quickly summarize like everything. Literally everything. So it starts back with Kwan's funeral in Korea. Like, Daniel's pretty riled up by the entire situation, rightfully so. Yeah, then Terry still wants the tournament back on. Eventually, they get the tournament back on. Robbie gets cooked by Axel really bad. But Cobra Kai has a spot in the final. So Johnny, on behalf of Kreese, takes over Cobra Kai with Tori and Miguel as the captains. And then Miguel beats Axel and Tori beats Zara really bad. But then it's a tie. So it's Johnny versus Sensei Wolf. Johnny wins. Like, this is very exciting. Just part 3, I think, is like better than parts 1 and 2 combined. Like, it is really good. It wraps everything up so nicely, and it's so satisfying. And even though this is over, you're less sad than you are just satisfied and happy and excited. Like, that's what this ending leaves you with. But I'm just kind of rambling. Let's get into some points. So first I want to explain kind of like Johnny's arc and his entire family. I love how in these final 5 episodes especially, you can just tell how far he's come from the first episode of this series ever. How many people he has on his back now. Pause. Actually, no. Why did I say that? I don't know. But just from the shot alone, you could just see how much everything has grown. Like, and at the end of this, like, Johnny, obviously, he takes back Cobra Kai to win the Sekai Taikai, and he ends up just reopening it for good. His style of Cobra Kai. And it's a joint dojo still with Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do. Because I thought Daniel was going to actually stop being sensei, but he actually didn't. Yeah, I love how the show remembered. We started on Johnny. We're ending on Johnny. At first I was like, man, this tie kind of feels cheap. But it's like, it gives Johnny one last little piece of closure. Because this is, at the end of the day, I can't talk for some reason. At the end of the day, this is his show. Like, we started on him in that bed with all those beers around him on the worst time in his life. And now we're here. He's, like, made so many friends, built a family, found a purpose. It's so beautiful. And then Daniel, his whole thing was finding balance. And at the end of this, he ends up doing that. He has one last dream sequence. Let me pull it up. I'll just use this image. But Daniel has one last dream sequence when he's, like, unfocused and unbalanced and everything. Like, he has skeleton people in his gene coming after him. Then Mr. Miyagi helps him, saves him, guides him into the right direction. Like, and Daniel actually puts on a Cobra Kai gi, which I would never have expected. Like, the writer subverted expectations really good. So, the way they ended these two, I love, or their relationship, I love very much. It's like how far they've come. It's like, it's really what I love about this. The thing I've always loved about Cobra Kai the most is its characters. And how far they've come from season 1/2. Like, these two hate each other's guts for the longest time, and now they're like the bestest friends ever, training together for the biggest fight of their life. Like it's amazing, like how Tori went. She's always been put through the ringer, right? She's always been put in the tough spots in life, and now she has this opportunity to rise back up, and like she doesn't want to take it at first because she feels like all of this is because of Cobra Kai every single time. But then Sam kind of motivates her. Like, it kind of brought all the good too. So she fights back in the tournament and ends up winning it. And also, she knocks out Zara's tooth, by the way. It was a very good fight. All of the fights in this make it feel like very exciting. Like, ooh, like cheering, jumping up and down your chair, doing whatever. Like, all of that. So, yeah, I really love that. And Sam ends up going to Okinawa for a summer program. And I thought that was a pretty good ending for, like, and I'll get into more detail about how that went later. But right now I'm just going over all the character endings because, like, that's really all there is to go over. Actually, no, it's not, but, like, I'm just rambling because I just wanted to get this review out. So, next point. Now, Robbie. Here's the thing. During the match with, like, I would show footage, but again, this would get copyrighted. But, like, so, pretty much during the match between Axel and Robbie, like, Sensei Wolf is, like, also, I just want to address this real quickly. A slight problem I do have, this is the season as a whole, the Iron Dragons are, like, the main villains throughout this, other than Cobra Kai, obviously, for the duration. But since they were only introduced in part 2, you don't learn enough about any of them. It's like, none of these 3 characters have, like, any depth at all. They're just obstacles, pretty much. It's like the most basic personality traits, and Axel's motivation is, like, incredibly stupid. And Sensei Wolf is just really ruthless for no apparent reason that we know of. So, like, they were effective as villains, but just not as characters. That's what I just wanted to say. So basically what happens in the fight is on Sensei Wolf, where Robbie is actually scoring some points on Axel in the second round. First round, he was getting pretty much destroyed like he was in part 2. But then, when Robbie starts regaining ground, Sensei Wolf's like, no, you gotta be ruthless. You gotta be complete ruthless, toothless, rotten to the core, pretty much. And he hides it from the ref and makes it look like an accident. But Axel breaks Robbie's knee. And he obviously cannot continue the match. And he, once again, gets second place. Or, is not technically second place, but still, it's basically second place. Again. Now, I think this is a bit ironic. Just a little bit. Like, sorry if this review sounds, like, negative. I'm just kind of tired. Like, I really love this. This is really something special. Such an improvement over the first two parts. But I think the way they ended Robbie and Sam's fighting careers, like, very contently, because Sam ends up dropping out of the tournament and not fighting Tori, so she can fight Zara, because she knows how important this would be for her. Like, I think the way they ended the Chube Miyagi-Do student plot lines, like, it just perfectly encapsulates their teachings. Like, and then Johnny's like, I don't know how to give up. So he takes, on Kreese's behalf, he takes over Cobra Kai. Actually, let me touch on Chosen first really quickly. Never mind, we're going to talk about Miguel. So obviously, Miguel, he wanted the captain spot so bad to get into Stanford. But he lost to Robbie. And he was, like, so, like, mad about that he was blaming Robbie in Barcelona. But, like, he's moved past that. He's matured through that. But obviously, he now gets to be captain because he's in Cobra Kai. Like, and I love the way, I know I said this already, I love the way it wraps around. They're Cobra Kai where it counts. We started as Cobra Kai. We're ending as Cobra Kai. Yeah, and Daniel buys the old dojo for Johnny back. It's amazing. And what ends up happening with Miguel, he ends up beating Axel. I'm sorry. Like, I do not have anything written down like I usually do. Like, I'm just kind of rambling. He ends up beating Axel. Pretty good. But the total points is 180 versus 180. So it's a tie. So it has to be a tiebreaker between the two senseis. And I'll touch on Johnny a tad bit more after. That'll be my last thing I talk about. Obviously, just wanted to mention, the fights are always good. Like, that's why I didn't even mention it. Again, Zara, I don't like Zara. I just really don't like Zara for some reason. I don't know. Like, Miguel finally gets his moment in the Saikai Taikai. And the thing is, he already got into Stanford while he was in the tournament. Like, he just didn't see it. Well, what ends up happening near the end, Miguel ends up joining Sam for a little bit in Okinawa. So, he gave up Stanford, like, Sam gave up UCLA. I want to talk about that for a second, too. Like, Sam, like, didn't go to UCLA because she wanted to go broader. Like, she heard all the stories Daniel, Mr. Miyagi told her, and she wanted to study them. She wanted to see what that was all like. And they go through this whole transition. You know, it's really emotional. They can now talk about, let's see. So in episode 12 of this, Carmen has the baby, and Carmen and Johnny also get married. And it was really nice because he's like, I feel like I'm not good enough. I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that. And his friend Tommy, the priest, he gives him a pep talk. And he gets them married. Like, and it just shows the family that he's built. It's so wonderful. Like, and now, like, Johnny, I'll actually talk, keep talking about Johnny because he's the best part about this, I think. But there's one major part about this I've been leaving out. The villains. I'll talk about them now. So Master Kim, he's the evilest of them all, right? In episode 11, he is not very happy. He's like, no, we're going back to the tournament. If they kill one of our students, we're going to kill one of their students. And he's going to use Yoon as his main fighter. And he teaches all of them this move. Where pretty much, like, a flat hand goes in between the ribs. Punctures organs. Like, it's really brutal. And what ends up happening is Kreese is like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And Kreese in this part, in all this stuff, like, too little too late, he gains clarity, finally. Like, all of this isn't right. Like, what am I doing? This has consumed me this entire time. And then Kim Dae-un. Kim Dae-un. Sorry, this is unprofessional. Kim Dae-un, like, wanted to be the master of this dojo since she was a little girl. And because her grandfather always thought she was weak, not good enough. And when Kreese objects and is sent away, Master Kim's like, you can prove yourself. You just have to kill Kreese. What ends up happening is Kim Dae-un and Kreese have a talk about, no, you're not your grandfather. This can be your dojo. What ends up happening? Instead, Kim Dae-un battles her grandfather and kills him with that move in between the ribs and takes over the dojo. And Kreese goes back to the valley. And that is the ending of her story. Pretty good ending for her story. Like, I didn't expect anything less. So, now we're going to John Kreese and Terry Silver. So, John Kreese finally goes on his long-awaited redemption arc of his clarity. What ends up happening, how Johnny even acquires Cobra Kai again, is when he goes to talk to him after Robbie is beaten. And Johnny has this whole emotional conversation with him, like, I loved you, man. You were my role model. You gave me purpose. You gave me confidence. You gave me fight. But then you failed me. That stupid trophy, you failed me when I needed you the most. And then Kreese is like, I'm sorry, Johnny. I don't expect you to forgive me. And I don't know if there's anything I can do to make up for it, because it's too little too late. And that's how he ends up getting Cobra Kai. Like, and he goes on this, he retires being a sensei, finally. And the police aren't looking for him for some reason, don't worry about it. And it's almost the end of his story. Terry Silver, he is, like, I'll just say, he goes cuckoo caca in this. Because he reveals that, which I've been theorizing about, that he was sick. And that is why he's been going all out about protecting his legacy. Because this Seikai Taikai is all he has left. Like, and now we go over the ending of John Kreese and Terry Silver. What ends up happening with these two is, throughout the season, Terry Silver's on this yacht. And he orders Dennis, like, that one goon he has. He's like, no, this can't happen. Like, sudden death, no, we can't do this. He sends him, say, go attack, like, Johnny's wife and daughter. And Kreese ended up sneaking on the boat. He kills Dennis. And Kreese goes up on the deck. And he's like, so, you're protecting him now. He's like, yeah, I actually got some sense. And they fight. He spills, like, a can of gas. Like, Silver has him in a chokehold. And then he ends up, he had a cigar. So, Silver raises his fist to punch him, is about to kill him. Which allows Kreese to grab the cigar and throw it at the gas. And then Silver's like, no! And Kreese's like, mercy. And that was so corny, but it was so cool at the same time. And the cigar, like, ignites the gas and it blows up the boat, killing everybody on it. And I think both of them dying was the right choice. Like, I couldn't see anything else happening to them. And John Kreese actually went out heroically. But the only, like, rip John Kreese. But the only problem I have with this is, like, nobody really figured it out. Nobody really addressed it. The most they addressed it is when Johnny and Sensei Wolf fight. Wolf was like, wait, where's Silver? That's, like, the most they addressed that. Yeah, but pretty satisfying ending for them. Now, the final little part of this rambling yap session, Johnny. Johnny, throughout this whole show, has been going through this arc of regaining a purpose. Cobra Kai helped him regain purpose, and he felt like that was diminished when Kreese took it over, then Silver took it over, and the Cobra Kai name was tarnished. But then he got it back. And he realized where Cobra Kai has brought him. Like, without Cobra Kai, he wouldn't have, like, Miguel, Robbie, Carmen, Daniel, any of them. I forgot to mention Chosen goes to back to Kim Daniel. That's not important right now. But obviously they win the tournament. But what happens is Daniel becomes Johnny's sensei for a little bit. He bends him into shape. Just like the way Johnny needs to be taught. Like, and it was an awesome montage. It just reminded me so much of, like, Rocky. It's like he is getting so pumped and so confident. But then in the locker room, Sensei Wolf threatened him and rattled him so bad that for the first time he felt fear. Or not for the first time, but like the first time in the tournament he felt fear. So Daniel knocked him back into shape the way that he would. Like, what? All of that stuff. And he beat Sensei Wolf. And Cobra Kai wins and spreads worldwide. And there is one last scene where there's a little cameo from the creators. It's like they're pitching a show in a bar. And the last scene is these two talking at a table. And it's the next All Valley. That's probably around the time, because they're talking about the All Valley a little bit. And Daniel, he's finally gained balance and closure. So he's trying to, one last time, trying to catch a fly with the chopsticks, but then John just smashes it with his hands. No mercy, he says. And then they're best buds. And that's how the show ends. Like, Robbie and Tori get brand deals. Miguel and Sam go to Okinawa to college. These two become senseis. Like, Kim Dae-hoon and Chosen become senseis. Everybody, like, Kreese goes out heroically, taking Terry Silver with him. Just, I have to commend them. Because this season felt a little disjointed, season 6. But then they wrapped it up so perfectly. Like, just all around amazing finale. Just, that's all I have to say. All around amazing. How it came back around and reminded you what this show was about in the first place, and wrapping everything up the way it was supposed to. Okay, so it's kind of hard to rate the season overall because of how it was structured. But, like, part 1, I give, like, a total, like, 6.8 out of 10. Part 2, I give, like, a 7.7. That's probably not what I said in the review or whatever. And part 3, I gave a 9. This was, like, genuinely just really good. This is really good television. It was action-packed. It was heartfelt. It was closure. It was, like, it wrapped a nice little bow on everything. It was everything the show was about in the first place. It's just such an amazing finale. And I'm less sad than I am happy that this show ended on such a high note. And that is all I have to say. Happy Valentine's Day to anybody who has one. Bye, 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 bye.